Hey guys, as of today, many countries are running out of masks, Singapore included. Hence, I felt compelled to make this video to urge all of you to make your own masks and not rush to buy them, since we should be leaving these masks to the medical professionals and frontliners who need them more. Also, here is a disclaimer that I am by no means a medically trained professional, but I feel that such protection should be as good as using a surgical mask to protect yourself against the COVID-19 virus. Since you are making cloth masks, you can always just remove the filter and wash them so that you can reuse these masks. There are many online videos and resources citing that other filters such as aircon filters and tissue papers work too, but just to be safe, you could just use a surgical mask as the filter, but don't throw it away since your mask should still be clean. It would mean a lot to these frontliners if we could all take these small steps to save our supply of masks for them. In addition, I have no idea how to sew, so I got my mom to teach me. And I believe that if I can do it, you guys can do it too. So let's get started. These are the materials you will need. Many of these are cheap, easy to find materials that can be found from hardware stores littered across Singapore. I personally sourced all of these from the Hague Road and Marine Parade area. Also, just get any comfortable cotton clothes you don't want anymore. I suggest not using too thick a piece of cloth as the mask may be stuffy to wear. You could also get one with designs or not, it's really up to you to be creative. Since I wanted this to be accessible to everyone, I am not going to use a sewing machine, but if you do have one, feel free to make your life easier. The templates for adults, children, and baby sizes are linked in the description box below, so print them out and stick them on a piece of card to make stencils. If you are planning to use the surgical mask as the filter, you can ignore the filter template. Now, let's start with the mask. Layer 2 pieces of cloth and draw the mask outline on the top piece. Once cut, you will have 2 pieces of cloth of that shape. You will need 4, but I suggest cutting them 2 pieces at a time since it will be much easier. This is what you should get. Start by threading a needle and tying a knot at the end. Trim off the excess. You will be sewing all the way to the top, leaving a 1 cm gap at the bottom, top and edge. To secure the stud, push the needle through the same area a few times before poking the needle through around 2 to 3 mm from the starting point. Now push the needle through at the starting point again, and it should come back out another 2 to 3 mm from the previous string as shown. I googled this and I think it's called a back stitch. Also, take note of how your hand should be positioned. To hold the cloth, I have my pointer and middle fingers clipping the top, while the other 3 fingers hold the bottom part to make the cloth as taut as possible. Don't worry if your stitching is kinda bad like mine, since these stitches will be hidden. This is how the stitching should look like from the front and back. To end the stitch, push the needle back up at the end a few times like we did at the start. Slip your needle through a previous stitch and loop the remaining string around the needle twice before pulling the needle through. This makes a knot, and to secure it, push the needle through the cloth twice in the same spot before cutting off the excess. Now for the chin area, you will have to fold up the bottom edge twice as shown. Since the cloth will unfold easily, use pins to pin the folds while you sew. Remember to be careful of the sharp ends. To hide the knot, string the needle through the folded area and not through all the layers. Then run the string through the same area about twice like before, but now through all the layers to secure it. Here, we use the simplest stitch ever, the straight or running stitch. Basically, your needle should go in and out of the cloth, making dashes on both sides. If your string gets entangled, use your needle to separate them. This is also why using a shorter string is easier for beginners, and I'll show you guys how to continue the stitching if your string gets too short later on in the video. Take out the pins as you go along, and remember to pull the cloth so that it doesn't scrunch up. Since the outer dashes can be seen, I recommend using a string of the same colour as your cloth, but I am using black here for easy demonstration. End the stitching similarly, and this should be what you have. You need 2 such pieces. With the stitch side facing down, position the elastic bands as such before placing another piece with the stitch side facing up. For the children and baby mask, the elastic should stretch across the mask in 2 parallel lines rather than a loop like the adult mask. They are also adjustable depending on your preference of tightness. Remember to pin down the elastics and cloths like this, since we'll be flipping the mask inside out later. For this, loop the needle across the edge to seal the side securely. Using the back stitch, the one that goes back and forward, seal the edges of the mask, leaving 1 cm of space from the edges. Make sure that the stitches are close to each other so that the elastics will be well secured. At the corners with elastics, it's okay to cut into the 1 cm edge since it's more important to secure the elastics. Okay, at this point, my string became too short. Cut the string here and tie a dead knot as close to the cloth as possible. Cut off the excess string and re-thread the needle. Poke the needle at the same place the stitch ended and continue from there. Take note of the middle area since you must fold the middle flat down before sewing over so that the mask will not be lumpy. It can get a bit tricky, so take your time and align it neatly and sew over. Once done, do the same for the other side by pinning down the elastics and sealing the edge. When you're done, remember to loop the edge shut and end the stitch like you did previously, looping the string twice over the needle and making a knot, then running the needle through twice. Now flip the mask inside out and push out the corners that tend to be stuck inside. The mask is almost complete. To prevent the filter or mask from falling out, we have to stitch a bit of the hole at the bottom. After hiding the knot inside, we are going to use a blanket stitch here. By sewing through both edges, run the needle back through the loop created. It's a bit hard to explain, so look at the video for reference. You should sew about a quarter of the mask on each side. At the end, loop the edge and make another knot like how you've been doing, running the needle through twice and cut off the excess. Do the same on the other side. As you can tell, my second edge was much neater than the first. It's proof that practice makes perfect. Now for the filter. I am using an aircon filter which I bought from a hardware store. See the longer edge of the template? Align that to the folded edge of the filter and draw around the template. This will later open up into the full filter with the sharper edge at the nose bridge area. Stuff the filter in through the hole at the bottom. Since the cloth mask is reusable, just take the filter out and wash the mask every few days. To ensure that all bacteria and viruses are killed, iron the mask before wearing. You could also use a surgical mask instead. The metal wire at the top will also help secure the mask on your face. Here are the other sizes of masks I've made for children and babies. Instead of looping the elastic around the ears, the elastic bands go around their heads. If the bands are too loose, just fold and sew them or tie a knot instead. These are how the final mask look like. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope all of you stay safe and healthy. Also, let me know in the comments if any of you are interested to participate in a mask making session for us to make these masks for the community. Stay safe and let's fight this outbreak together.